session, we are joined by our coaches from Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, and Ohio State. We'll be followed with a 5-minute intermission from our coaches from Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, and Minnesota. So we will have a microphone holder, so if you could just raise your hand so we can do this in an orderly fashion. And she'll come around, Katie, in the corner, one of our Big Ten sports liaisons. And also, just so everyone knows, this will not be recorded. So I'm gonna open up our questions. All right, in a second, Katie.
Hey Jeff, Eric Olson with the Associated Press. You guys lead the nation in home runs and you come to a big park like this. Does this change your approach?
Not necessarily. Oftentimes the balls that go over the fence are well struck. The balls that are line drives just happen to carry a little bit. I mean, it's kind of part of the way you have your offensive approach. You're just trying to drive balls a big part of the field. If they're right out, they're right out. But you have to put the ball in play consistently with good spin. And so when you come into a ballpark like this, you just try to steady your approach and make sure you have your quality at bats. And if that ball that was a home run becomes a double, fine. If it gets caught, fine. You just got to be able to string at bats together. You got to be able to put 4, 5, 6 at bats in a row. And if you have to be a little more, I don't want to say small ball, but a little more fundamental in the way you advance runners and you operate your offense, you have to do that. But it's really hard to ask a 20-year-old kid who's practiced a certain way to change mid-stroke and do something different. So we've played in big ballparks before and found ways to score runs. So you have to do it again. So we'll find a way.
Evan Blaine, Omaha World Herald. Darin, could you just maybe speak to your experience at these Big Ten tournaments? Does momentum carry over from the regular season ever? Is this a whole new animal? What's that like?
It's a completely different animal. There's who knows what the heck's going to happen. And just because you swung the bat well or pitched well a couple days ago, it has no bearing on what happens now. It's tournament time. It's playoff time. It's just guys do cool things and certain guys step up that maybe haven't done stuff throughout the year, and that's why it's fun.
Mark Snyder, Press Pros Magazine. Greg, you have a lot of youth on this team. What do you tell the players, and what do the older players tell the younger players about playing here? Because it's a totally different experience with this huge ballpark. It's almost like a big league ballpark.
Well, it's bigger than big league ballparks, I think. We're going to tell our guys, first of all, the youth, and Mark, you and I have talked about the youth of our ball club is no longer a story, in my opinion. I mean, those guys have played the whole year. They've got experience. They've had to play in tough situations, so they're ready to go. And this is a new animal. So what the older guys are going to be telling the newer guys, I don't know. What we're going to be telling them is prepare yourself like you always do. Go out and play the game the same way that you always do. The environment is it. It's a great environment. It's championship baseball in Omaha and TD Ameritrade, the mecca of college baseball. It's an exciting time, and I hope our guys just go answer the bell and play their tails off, and I'm sure they will.
Darin, can you just kind of speak to maybe the competitiveness of this tournament, how evenly matched these teams are, just with the way the regular season ended up going?
Yeah, we haven't seen a couple of teams, actually 3 of them. So that's one more interesting thing in the conference. But yeah, again, like I said, there's teams here. There's a team that finished last in our conference that could come here and win the first 3 games of the tournament with their pitching staff. That's the depth of this conference. It's just fantastic, and it's just going to boil down to who plays good baseball and gets hot and gets the key hits. It's pretty wide open.
Greg, you basically played an elimination game the last 2 weeks of the season. What have you seen changes in your team? Because they've been up against it for 2 solid weeks to just get here.
Well, it's been fun to watch them simply compete. We're in that mode where kind of backed up against the wall, some must-win situations, and we played through those. So that's kind of what we're going to get into here this week, you know, where it's must win. It's do or die in tournament play. Our conference is tough, and to echo what Darin said, you got to make plays at critical times. You got to get hits at critical times, and it's going to be fun to see who steps up and gets it done.
This is just kind of a question for the coaches in general, but as the Big Ten's financial situation has improved, and that's maybe come into the baseball realm of things, how have you seen maybe facilities, resources, support help elevate your program, and then help just elevate the quality of play in the league at large?
All right, let's go down the line, starting with Illinois.
Start with the old guys, since I've seen most of it. It's been really interesting over the years. It's my 29th year in the league, and if you look at the quality of baseball, facilities, coaches, support, I mean, it's improved so much. My thought process is the Big Ten Network has helped us as much as anything show the quality of players we have. It's helped us to recruit better players. The thing that sticks out to me in this conference this year, Friday night was a grind. If you look at the number one pitchers that each and every team has, regardless of what their overall record was, I mean, it was tough. And then you get down to the 2s and 3s. And there's no gimme games in this league. You used to have teams that you felt like you would go in and win 2 games, and if you didn't win a 3rd one, you were really upset. And now you go into series, hope to win series, because it's very difficult. So the support that we've gotten has been outstanding. The league continues to grow, and I think you're going to see us get better and better in the years to come.
I have a bit of a different perspective. My first year in the conference, and as I went from a player that played against teams in the Big Ten, and an assistant that was recruiting against and coaching against, and a head coach that was coaching against, and now being a part of the league, you do have a unique viewpoint of the growth of the conference and the ability truly for each team. You go on a weekly basis, and you're breaking scouting reports down. You're looking at the numbers. You're looking at their quality wins, and at any point in time, you feel like we could lose this series where you can get swept. Like you're one breath away from I'm getting swept off the field. And so the growth of it, obviously financial investment in the facilities, into the coaching staffs, the depth of coaching staffs, your recruiting reach, your recruiting budgets, all those things have allowed this conference to continue to grow. Really exponentially from the time that I was a player to an assistant to where it continues to go now. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great challenge, and obviously the league's trajectory is going towards a place that'll be a lot of fun for all of us for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, our 8 years here, we've seen new stadiums built, seen coaching staffs overturned. The thing that strikes me is the depth. When we first got here, I thought lineups weren't very lengthy. There's a few guys in the lineup that you had to control, and if you did that, you're fine. Now you're looking at, you get to the bottom of orders, they're just not outs there. And Sunday instead of facing, mid to upper 80s with maybe a breaking ball, you're facing 90 and 95 with put away breaking ball on multiple guys on different teams. And it used to be where if you get through their first line of the relief pitching and have a lead, you're fine. Now you're facing 90 and 93 and they're secondary guys in the pen, and it's that part of it's been a lot of fun to see, and it's just up the ante across the board. I love it.
Competition, and then the competition drives all of us. And I've said for a long time, the 9 years I've been in this conference, I learned very quickly. I've called it a black and blue. We just beat each other up in baseball. These 3-game series and the competition. Everybody's good enough to win a game, so you got to play at your highest level. So I commend all the coaches in our conference for driving their programs, but that doesn't happen without the backing of administration and philosophically to put our student athletes in a great situation. This week, playing in TD Ameritrade is a decision that this conference made for our student athletes. It's a big time decision because this is a big time experience that our guys are getting.
Tim Kern with KLN in Lincoln. Question for Coach Erstad. You have a lot of underclassmen that play a big role in your team, but of course they haven't been through this process before in terms of preparing for the Big Ten tournament. What's your comfort comfort level with those guys and how they're able to handle playing in a competition like this for the first time?
I don't differentiate between a freshman and a senior. These kids have travel ball. They've played each other. They've had some pressure on them. I don't care if they're in the lineup. I don't care what age they are. Go out there and get it done. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, Dan, Eric, with the AP. What's kind of flipped for you guys in the last month? You guys are, by my math, 12-3 in your last 15 Big Ten games. Compared to where you guys were maybe mid-April, what has changed, if anything?
Well, if you look at the start of the year for us, we were playing very, very well, getting key hits and making key pitches, and then we went through about a 3-week lull where we just we didn't play poorly, but we didn't play up the expectations that I have and that our players have. And you look at the fact we had our backs against the wall. We started the conference play 1-5, and worked ourselves into a 3rd seed. So it just comes down to getting the key pitch, key hit. We had good leadership within our team to kind of steady the ship and not panic. I think we've been fairly consistent, even when we went through that little lull. I mean, you look, there's very few teams that don't go through a lull in their season where you struggle in some manner, whether it's pitching or hitting. The game's so mental, but we were able to overcome that after the first few weekends, and we played at a high level since that point. So I don't know if you can figure out that formula, you make a lot of money.
Question for Dan too. Grant Story coming back, Nebraska kid here. I guess can you maybe just speak to what his role has been on this team and maybe what led to his turnaround as a hitter from last year to this year?
Yeah, Grant's done a great job. I mean, he's hitting at a high clip for us. I think he only has 4 errors on the year. He's been an unbelievable player for us, and he's not a flashy guy. He's not a guy that you really notice, but when you look at his statistics and what he does on a daily basis, he's been a big part of our success. The thing that people don't see is what he does for our team as far as just he plays with a calm. He's got a great sense of humor, just one-liners, and always keeping guys loose, both in the dugout, around the batting cage. We wouldn't be where we're at without the play and the leadership that he's given us.
Greg, after all these weeks, I've never asked you this, but when you really want to get through to the team, through some of your veterans, who are the guys you lean on? And obviously, I would think Canzone would be one of them, but who do you lean on, and what are some of the questions you ask when you want to know about what the players are thinking and all that?
Well, we have our group of captains that were voted on by their teammates, and then we also have a leadership council that coaches have put together, which includes the captains and some more guys. And so we have captains meetings, we have leadership council meetings, we do those type of things to make sure that the message is clear and the direction is clear. And it's key that you have those meetings after tough times and good times, so that you keep yourself consistent. And I think that's going to be the big message here, is that go out and do. I mean, big stadium, big stage, all that, but try to be consistent in your prep, be consistent in how you prepare yourself mentally to play. So there's a group that's set up for that. So you got those captains, you got a Canzone, you got a Matt Carpenter, you got a Dylan Dingler that are in that group.
Adam Kruger, CBS Omaha, is for Darin. Coach Erstad, what do you remember about that Minnesota series from earlier in the year, and what stands out to you about the Gophers?
Well, Meyer isn't throwing 90, 95 with 92-mile-an-hour cutters, and I remember getting walked off twice, so that was fun. But all that stuff out the window. They got a great team. I mean, they won the last 2 Big Tens, won this tournament last year, went to Super Regional, so a ton of experience there. Very, very well coached, and we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to play well. Oh, we have to face the fresh pitcher of the year from last year. We have 2.
Darin, you can speak to what Colby Vilnes has given you this year as a freshman, and kind of has he lived up to what you wanted him to do this year?
I don't put expectations on him other than going out there and competing, and he's surpassed that. he's raw at the plate. We know that. Plays really well defensively. On the mound, we didn't know if we were going to start him or leave him, but just the way it worked out where he's playing, it kind of turns into that closer role, so you don't bring the DH earlier. But yeah, he just likes to compete, wants to be a part of it, seems to find himself in the middle of things that go on with our team, and the bigger the situation, it seems like the more it grabs his attention, and he's handled it all right.
All right, do we have any further questions for these group of coaches? All right, thanks guys. Best of luck this week.